We've been voting by mail for a really long time. It became the default in 2013, but even before that, in 2008, 2006, 2010, a majority of voters voted that way, where we get our ballot in the mail about 3-4 weeks before the election, and then you either drop it in many of the official drop boxes, or you put stamps on it and you put it in the mail. And Republicans, Democrats, Independents, they all are accustomed to voting that way. We have a long ballot with lots of initiatives. People like to research them at home. It works very well.
Is there any reason to think that the process this year will be different than years past?
Well, I think people are going to be a little bit more careful about if they're going to mail their ballots. Normally, about 3/4 of the people who vote in our state use drop boxes, which are all over. They're at grocery stores. They're next to mailboxes. About 1/4 use the mail. I think that 1/4 is going to be a little bit lower this year. People are going to trust the official drop boxes more. And if they do use the U.S. mail, I think they're going to give it a few more days. I mean, we always tell people if you are mailing in your ballot, do it at least a week before the election. Maybe now folks are going to say do it at least 10 days before the election if you're mailing it. Otherwise, use one of the drop boxes.
How quickly, for those governors that are out there watching you right now, how quickly can other states replicate what you do to ensure the safety and security and efficacy of the voting process in Colorado in terms of, hiring appropriate staffing, using the technology that you do to ensure that the votes are ascribed to the right people, judges, auditors? I mean, there is a process there in Colorado that you follow. How easy and how possible would it be for other states that don't already do this to get up to speed in just a matter of weeks?
It's logistically easier, if you think about it, than running an operation with thousands of polling places, each one presumably with election judges, with people who administer elections. People in Colorado can still vote on Election Day if they didn't get their mail ballot, if they don't want to vote by mail. But they vote at these super voting centers. It's not a precinct polling spot. So it might be a 15-minute drive to vote or a 10-minute drive. There's really a few in every county, depending on the size of the county. So we have these super voting sites, and anybody who wants it turns out, by the way, less than 1% of the people do that. I mean, that's how popular vote by mail is in Colorado. When you ask about other states, it depends where they are. There's many states who have 30-40% voting by mail already. Maybe they want to get to 70-80%. If states have zero vote by mail, then it's going to be hard to get that whole system in place because you need signature verification, you need everything else. I think they can do it. But if you look at most states, they have some form of absentee ballot already. So it's really just a question of how do we make that a little bit easier for people to exercise their right to vote during a pandemic in a safe way.
Senator Michael Bennet said at a news conference with you that an American is more likely to be struck by lightning than they are to commit fraud. How do you ensure the sanctity of the voting process? What types of technology do you use to make sure that this process is safe and that the results are the accurate results?
Yeah, using the mail-in ballots like we do in Colorado, it's universal. It's also a way to reduce voter fraud. We have some negligible voter fraud in Colorado. One of the ways we do that is we do signature verification. So if the signature you have to sign the outside of your ballot, if it doesn't match, and that happens in less than 1% of cases, it doesn't mean your ballot's thrown out. It gets elevated. It gets elevated to you have a chance to cure your ballot. There's legitimate reasons somebody's signature could be different. Maybe they had a stroke, for instance. Maybe they're partially paralyzed. But in most cases, the signatures will match. The ballots will be counted. If not, there's an opportunity for you to go in and verify that it was, in fact, your ballot.